Hey everyone, and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to remove and reinstall both the front and rear wheel on our Mosh City and our Rush City models. So this process is super simple, and it will become second nature after you do it a couple times. So let's get to it. Now in order to remove and reinstall your wheels, you're going to need your multi-tool and your torque wrench. First, put your bike in a stand if available, or try and elevate. For the front wheel, use the 6mm hex wrench from your multi-tool to loosen the front through axle counterclockwise until the through axle comes free. Then pull the axle out completely while holding the wheel. Make sure the wheel comes out straight as to not bend the brake rotors. Place your wheel rotor side away from the bench and replace your through axle in the frame for safekeeping. For the rear wheel, you will again use the 6mm hex wrench on your multi-tool to loosen the rear through axle counterclockwise until the through axle comes free. Then pull out the axle completely while holding the wheel. Again, make sure the wheel comes out straight as to not bend the brake rotors. Take care not to twist or hit the drive belt. Place your wheel rotor side away from the bench and replace your axle in the frame for safekeeping. If you have a Rush City, your front wheel will come off the same as a Mosh City. To remove the rear wheel, you must first unplug your NVOLO hub cable. Next, use a 5mm hex wrench on your multi-tool to loosen two axle bolts, one on each side of the rear. The 75mm bolt is on the brake caliper side, while the 60mm bolt is on the belt drive side. Hold the rear wheel in place while loosening and then slowly lower when both bolts are out, taking care not to bend or twist the belt drive. Place your wheel rotor side away from the bench and place both bolts in a safe spot. It is time to reinstall our wheels. For the front wheel, insert the wheel so it sits in line with its axle and the rotors are evenly spaced between the brake pads. Once aligned, insert and thread your through axle first by hand and then with a 6mm hex wrench until snug. Lastly, take your torque wrench and tighten to 11 Nm. For the rear wheel, place the belt on the rear sprocket and lift until the axle is in line, at the same time making sure the rotors are evenly between the brake pads. Insert and thread your through axle first by hand and then with your 6mm hex wrench until snug. Lastly, tighten to 11 Nm with your torque wrench. Here's a clip showing how to install the Rush City rear wheel. The front wheel install process is the same as the Mosh City. First, place the belt drive on the rear sprocket, making sure the NVOLO hub port is positioned inside the belt drive. Next, check that the axle on the brake caliper side is oriented semicircle up and the square portion down before lifting the wheel up into the axle. Make sure while lifting that the rotor is evenly spaced between the brake pads. Next, insert and thread the 75mm bolt on the brake side and the shorter 60mm bolt on the gear side. Finally, tighten both bolts to 15 Nm using your torque wrench with a 5mm adapter and reattach your NVOLO hub cable. So that's all there is to removing and reinstalling your wheels. Now you can remove them or reinstall them when you need to change your tube or tire or when you're transporting them in your car. Either way, you're now prepared for those situations. And if you do have any other questions, you can hop over to serial1.com, the support page. There's other informational videos you can check out. Otherwise, I'll see you all next time.